Hey everybody, so we are going to do some dosage calculation using dimensional analysis. This is the first one out of a series of 4 that I'm going to do. And in each one of the videos, there's going to be, down in the links below, you will see the handout that you can work out. You can do the problems along with me, maybe pause it, you work it out and then watch me do it, or maybe do all of the questions and then watch the video. But all of them will be broken down into chapters on the video, and each chapter will be a question. So if you want to skip ahead, you're like, yeah, I know what this one is, but I got this one wrong, I need to figure it out, you can just skip straight to that question. So, number 1, order is Xanax 750 micrograms. Available is Xanax 0.25 milligram tablets. How many tablets will you administer? So the first thing we're going to do is look at what is this asking me. So ultimately it's asking me how many tablets am I going to administer. Okay, so our answer is going to be in tablets. So that's going to be my starting point. So I'm going to have tablets right up here. And if we look in the problem, we can see that we've got 0.25 milligram tablets. So what that's saying is for every 1 tablet, we have 0.25 milligrams. Okay, so that's what we'll plug in here, 0.25 milligrams. All right, so in dimensional analysis, the goal is to get tablets by itself. But, as you can see, we still have milligrams, so we need to get rid of the milligrams. In using dimensional analysis, how we get rid of the milligrams is we need to get them canceled out. So that means that I want milligrams right up here, okay? And I'll explain how that works as we go along. But whenever we look up here in our problem, we already used this, and our order is in micrograms, okay? That's not milligrams. So we need to do something. This is where we have to know our conversions, okay? So what I'm going to do is add this little conversion table here. It's kind of big. There we go. And ultimately, this is something that you want to have memorized. It's not very often that your teacher's going to let you have your conversion table in the testing area. You definitely won't get to have it for whenever you take your NCLEX. So these are things that you need to commit to memory. And these are some really basic ones right here that I'm showing you. But since we're practicing, we're just learning this, we're going to use this little table to help us out, okay? So when we need to figure out, do we know a conversion that can get us from milligrams to what our order is in micrograms? So we're going to look over here, and we've got the very top one says 1 milligram is equal to 1,000 micrograms. That's going to work for us. So what we do, this helps us to know which one goes on top and which one goes on bottom, because in order to cancel, I've got to get rid of milligrams. Milligrams has to go on top, okay? So I'm going to put my 1 milligram on top there over 1,000 micrograms. So we cancel those. We're not done yet because we've got tabs up top, but still got micrograms down bottom. I need to get rid of the micrograms. So this is the point that I get to use my ordered dose. Okay, so we're going to put, again, we need to cancel it, so that's how we know whether it goes on the top or the bottom. So we're going to put 750 micrograms on top here. Those are going to cancel, and that leaves us with just tabs. Okay, those are all canceled on top, those are canceled on bottom. So that means we are done. So now we get to start multiplying across. Okay, so 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 750 is going to be 750. Okay, and then we're going to multiply across on the bottom. So 0.25 times 1,000 is going to equal 250. Now, one thing I'm going to say right from the jump, never have any shame in using your calculator. ever. Your patients appreciate you going the extra mile to check your work, even though it seems like something completely straightforward. Slow down and check your work. Now, on things like this, it's not too bad to go, okay, well, there's 3 zeros. That means I'm going to move my decimal. I'm multiplying, so I'm going to move my decimal to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 3 zeros, move 3 times. Fill in that little spot, and that's 250. That's kind of an easy way to do your thousands, but anytime as we're working through, even if it seems like something that's super basic, do not be too proud to not use your calculator. It is not any kind of superiority if you can do the math in your head, because often there's other factors going in whenever you're doing your math as a nurse. You're tired, you're incredibly busy, you're stressed out. The same whenever you're taking your test. You are stressed out, so take the extra time to make sure that your brain's working the way it's supposed to, and check your work with your calculator, okay? There's my little soapbox there. So we've got 750 divided by 250, and that is going to equal 3. Okay, 3 what's? 3 tablets or tabs. And that's our answer. Okay, so let's move down here to number 2. So we have an order of gabapentin 0.2 grams available as gabapentin 100 milligram capsules. How many capsules will you administer? So we're going to start here with, what is it asking? How many capsules will you administer? So that means my answer is going to be in capsules. So I'm going to put capsules on top. Let's look at our problem. And we see that for every 1 capsule, there's 100 milligrams. Okay? So we go to the next part of our problem. So our order is 0.2 grams. Once again, that's not a straight conversion, so we're going to have to take a little extra step here. So do we know a conversion that can get us from milligrams to grams? Let's look on our conversion chart over here. So we've got grams. 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. So that's going to work for us. I need the milligrams to go away. So I'm going to put, so that it cancels, I'm going to put the milligram up top right here. That's 1,000 milligrams for every 1 gram. And take note here, so a gram can either be written GM or G. GR is grain, which we're not going to do in this video. All right. So we can cancel these out, but I've still got grams in my problem. I need to get to just capsules. So, but now we're at grams, so that means that I can pull our ordered dose into the problem. So we've got 0.2 grams. Those cancel. All I'm left with is capsules, so that means I'm done. So now I can start multiplying across. Again, we've got 1,000 times 0.2. So that's going to be 200 over 100. Now, cool thing, canceling is just a fun thing to do, so we're going to do it with our zeros too. If they're in the same place value, that means we get to cancel those zeros, and that leaves us with 2 over 1, which is equal to 2. So 2 capsules. Always make sure that you are putting your units in there as well to identify exactly what it is that you're going to be giving. Okay, number 3. So the order is lithium, 0.3 grams. What we have available is lithium 300 milligram capsules. Question is, how many capsules are we going to administer? Okay, so we start with capsules on top. In our problem, we see that for every one capsule, there's 300 milligrams. So one capsule is 300 milligrams. But our order is in grams. Do we have a conversion that can take us from grams to milligrams? I'm sorry, from milligrams to grams. And we have this conversion right here again, that 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram. Okay? Remember, that's how we know what number goes on top and which one goes on bottom. We want the milligrams in order for it to cancel, for it to go away. The milligrams are going to go on top in this problem. Okay, so now I've got caps over grams still. I need to get rid of the grams, so this is where I get to pull in my order of 0.3 grams. Those cancel, so I'm done. I've only got caps left, so now I can multiply across. So I've got 1 times 1,000 times 0.3. It's going to be 300 over 300 times 1, which is 300. Any number over itself is equal to 1. Remember, we're working for capsules. And so that is our answer for number 3, is 1 capsule. Number 4, we have triazolam 500 micrograms. We have available is in 0.25 milligram tablets. The question is, how many tablets are you going to administer? So we're going to put tablets on the top. In our problem, we see for every 1 tablet, there's 0.25 milligrams. So 1 tablet over 0.25 milligrams. Okay? So I need to get rid of my milligrams. Put that up top here. But our order is in micrograms. Do we have a conversion that can get us from milligrams to micrograms? We'll see this one right here. For every 1 milligram, there's 1,000 micrograms. So milligrams, 1 milligram over 1,000 micrograms. The milligrams cancel. I've still got micrograms here, so that means it's time for me to pull in my order, which is 500 micrograms. So now those cancel. I'm left with just tabs on the top. Those are all canceled out. So now we get to multiply across. So 1 times 1 times 500 is 500. And then 0.25 times 1,000 is 250, which is equal to 2. 2 what's? 2 tablets. Number 5. We have an order for Tylenol, 650 milligrams. Available is 325 milligram tablets. The question is, how many tablets are we going to administer? So we'll start with tablets on top. In our problem, we see that 1 tablet is 325 milligrams. 1 tablet, 325 milligrams. And then this one's going to work out nicely because our order is also in milligrams, so we don't have to take that extra step, see? So we've got milligrams right up top. We can go right here. That's already in milligrams. That cancels out. So we're done there. 650 over 325 is going to equal 2 tabs. Number 6, we've got aldactone 75 milligrams. What we have available is 25 milligram tablets. How many tablets are we going to administer? So we'll start with tablets on top. Our problem, see that one tablet is 250 milligrams, so one tablet, 25 milligrams. And again, our order is already in milligrams, so we don't have to have the extra step over here. So we're just going to plug that straight in, since we want our milligrams to cancel. Put 75 milligrams right there. Let's cancel. So we're done. We can multiply across 75 divided by 25, and that equals 3. Since we have tablets is the only thing left on top, that's our units. All right. Number 7, the order is meclizine 50 milligrams. What's available is meclizine 25 milligram tablets. Now you may look at this and go, okay, this is straightforward. I already know what this is. But this is an opportunity for us to practice the procedure, practice the process of dimensional analysis, and it helps that you have a good idea of what this is probably going to be, and that way it's a little bit easier to check your work and make sure you're on the right track. Okay, so let's just work it out. So the question, how many tablets are we going to administer? So put tablets up top. In our problem, we see that for every one tablet, we've got 25 milligrams. We want to get rid of the milligrams, so we're going to put this up top here. When we look at our order, already in milligrams, 50. Those cancel. We've got just tabs on top, so we're good. Now we can multiply across 50 over 25. Whenever we divide 50 by 25, that gets us 2. 2 what's? 2 tabs. Number 8, ordered Cipro 0.375 grams. And what's available is Cipro 250 milligram tablets. How many tablets will you administer? So we want tablets on top. Our problem tells us for every one tablet, we've got 250 milligrams. So one tablet, 250 milligrams. And then our order is actually in grams. So do we have something that tells us how to get from milligrams to grams? So we've got 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. So we want to cancel, we want milligrams to cancel and go away, so we'll put that up top. And it's 1,000 milligrams for every 1 gram. Those cancel, but in my equation here I've still got grams at the bottom and tabs on top, so let's get rid of the grams. Put grams on top. Then our order is 0.375. The grams cancel, that means we're good. So we can multiply across. So 1,000 times 0.375 is going to be 375. Divided by 250 times 1 is 250. And that is going to equal 1.5 tabs. Number 9, the order is Synthroid 225 micrograms. Available is Synthroid 150 microgram tablets. So that's nice. They're both in micrograms. The question is, how many tablets are we going to administer? So we're looking for tablets, so we'll start there with tablets on top. Our problem tells us we've got one tablet, has 150 micrograms in it. We need to get rid of micrograms out of the bottom. We do have something in our problem that has micrograms. It's going to allow us to do that. So micrograms right here, and that's 225. Those cancel. So we're good to go to multiply across. So 1 times 225 is 225 over 150. You divide that out, and it equals 1.5 tabs. Number 10. Ordered is amoxicillin suspension, 0.25 grams. What's available is amoxicillin suspension, 125 milligrams per 5 mils. How many mils will you administer? Okay, so this one looks a little bit different, but it's really just the same. So what's the question asking? Mils. How many mils will we administer? So we're going to start with mils on top. Now in our problem, we'll see right here that for every 5 mils, we have 125 milligrams. So it's the same as like with the tablets, but instead of for every 1 tablet, it's 125 milligrams, it's for every 5 mils of liquid, there's 125 milligrams of medicine. Okay, so now that we're working it just the same as we did all the others, okay? So I need to get rid of milligrams, put that up top, but our order is in grams. But using our conversion chart, we know that there are 1,000 milligrams for every 1 gram. Those cancel out. I've still got grams hanging out down here, so I'm going to put this up top so I can cancel it out. And we look, okay, now we're back to grams. We can plug in our order. Grams cancel. And now I'm just left with mils up top, so that means we've done our job there, so now we can multiply across. So we're going to go 5 times 1,000. It's 5,000 times 0.25 is equal to 1,250. And then 125 times 1 times 1 is 125. So 1,250 divided by 125 equals 10. 10 what's? 10 mils. Number 11, same thing, using a suspension here. So we've got ordered is potassium, 40 milliequivalents. What's available is potassium, 20 milliequivalents per 15 mils. How many mils will you administer? So we're looking for mils. That's what our answer is going to be. We're going to start there. And in our problem, we see for every 15 mils is 20 milliequivalents. So for every 15 mils, there's 20 milliequivalents. And it doesn't matter, the cool thing about dimensional analysis, as long as you know your conversions, you can get from one point to another, okay? Luckily here, we're already, our order is already in milliequivalents. So we need these to cancel. So I'm going to put this one on top. Order's 40. Those cancel. We're left with just mils, so that means we're done. So now we're going to multiply across 15 times 40, 600. 20 times 1 is 20. So 600 divided by 20 equals 30. 30 watts, 30 mils. Number 12. So we have cefaclor oral suspension 0.5 grams. What's available is 250 milligrams per 5 mils. How many mils are you going to administer? So we'll start with mils up top. So this says that we've got for every 5 mils, 250 milligrams. But our order is not in milligrams, it's in grams. Luckily, we know that for every 1,000 milligrams, there's 1 gram. Right now, we've gotten to the point now we're in grams, we're in the same unit as our order. So now we can plug in. We want the grams to cancel out, so I'm going to put that on top, 0.5 grams. The grams cancel, so that means I'm done there, and now I can start to multiply across. So I've got 5 mils, 5 times 1,000 times 0.5, it's 2,500. And then 250 times 1 times 1, 250. So 2,500 divided by 250 equals 10. 10 watts, 10 mils. Always go back, make sure that you're going back to the question. This goes for all nursing questions, not just your dosage calculations. Anytime you get stuck, you get mixed up, make sure that we're going back to the stem of the question. Number 13. We've got an order for Vantin 0.2 grams. What's available is 100 milligrams per 5 mils. So it's another suspension question. How many mils will we administer? Okay. So we're going to start with mils on top. This shows us that for every 5 mils, we've got 100 milligrams. But our question is in grams. We do know that for every 1,000 milligrams, there is 1 gram. Okay? We know what goes on the top because we need these to cancel. So that's why I put milligrams up top. It's not always going to be that way, but that's how you know. So, but I'm still stuck with grams. That's cool because that's what my order is in grams. So now I can plug that in. Again, I want these to cancel, so I'm going to put the grams up top. 0.2. Those cancel. All I'm left with now is my mils. So now I can multiply across. So 5 times 1,000 times 0.2 is 1,000 divided by 100. That is equal to 10 mils. All right, so this one looks a little bit different because it's more of a word problem. These are laid out pretty easy, right? Just tells you what's ordered, what's available, and then asks you your question. This is all kind of mixed together and what you're more likely to see. Okay, so you need to administer 0.75 milligrams of dexamethasone elixir. It is packaged 0.5 milligrams per mil. How many mils will you administer? Same thing as we did before. What is the question asking? It wants to know how many mils am I going to administer. So we're going to start with the mils up top. If we look at our problem, we see that it's packaged 0.5 milligrams per mil. Okay, so that means I'm going to put 1 mil over 0.5 milligrams. Okay, so I need to get rid of the milligrams, so that means milligrams is going to go on top. And if we look at, you need to administer 0.75 milligrams, that's our order, right? And it's in milligrams. So that's going to work out. So 0.75 milligrams, those cancel out. So we're good. Now we can multiply across. 0.75 divided by 0.5. And that is equal to 1.5. mils, and that makes sense too if you think about it. So if for every 1 mil there's 0.5 milligrams, well, 0.75 is just a little bit over 0.5, so it would make sense that 1.5 mils would be 0.75 milligrams. All right, last one. Again, another kind of regular word problem. This is the order received asks for 50 milligrams of furosemide. It's packaged 10 milligrams per mil in an 8 mil ampule. How many mils do you administer? Now, don't get freaked out because it's an ampule and this is an injection type question. It doesn't really matter. It's the same process, and that's why I put this one next to this one, because I wanted you to see that as we progress forward, even into the injection dosage calculation, parenteral medications, it's still going to be the same process. Okay, so let's start with, what is it asking? How many mils are you going to administer? So let's start with mils on top. So we look at our problem, just like we saw before, for every 1 mil, we've got 10 milligrams of medication. So for every 1 mil, we've got 10 milligrams of medication. Okay, I need to get rid of the milligrams. Do we see a milligram in the problem anywhere? We do see milligrams right here, and that's our order for 50 milligrams. And that cancels. So we're good. So now we can multiply across 50 over 10. And again, if the zeros are in the same the same place value, we can cancel those out. That's 5 over 1, any number over itself. Any number over 1 is that number, so that's 5. So that is 5 mils. Now, notice that we had this guy right here, and so what this shows us, we didn't use that, what this shows us is that just because the number's in the problem does not necessarily mean we have to use it. Now, we can use this to say, okay, so, as a nurse, we look at, I need to give 5 mils, and 1 ampule has 8 mils in it, so all I need is 1 ampule.